So you had said that you would use this time to kind of regroup or whatever. How has that been?
I mean, I think it's been fine. The true indicator will be tomorrow. I mean, we'll know more. But, we were able to basically take a couple days off, from being on the court. We did do some, the second day we did some film and stuff like that and some prep. But as far as on the court, we gave the guys a little more time off this week than normal. So, hopefully that'll bode well, but we'll see.
With the emotion of Monday, is it beneficial that you didn't have to turn around and play a game 2 days later?
I mean, I don't know. Those are the questions that we'll probably never know the answer to. But it was a good little stopgap for us. We've been going hard. As you guys know, we kind of put ourselves behind the 8 ball a little bit. Early in the non-conference. So, we had to push hard to fight back. So we've been practicing. We've been pushing. So it was good just to have a couple of days off. I think that's like almost maybe the first time we've done that all season.
With the number of injuries that ASU has been dealing with, is it harder to game plan?
Listen, I'm planning on them all playing. That's my preparation, is they're all going to play. I don't know how serious the injuries are. I haven't heard anything one way or another. I'm assuming that they're all going to be playing against us tomorrow morning. How crazy that sounds, yeah.
I mean, obviously, Josan was a guy that you guys wanted here. What have you seen from him on tape?
Well, Josan's really talented. I mean, he's he's a super nice kid. He's an elite jump shooter. who projects well in the future. So he's a guy that if you leave him open, it's no surprise when it hits the bottom of the net. He's got that kind of, I guess as the kids call it today, that kind of strap, that kind of shot.
Perspective on that last shot from Caleb, just kind of, what you saw, your reaction when you saw the ball go in.
When the ball goes in, you're like, wow, we just got maybe a little bit of a gift. Let's take advantage of it. And fortunately we did. It was great. It was a great moment, for our program. I would have liked to played better down the stretch, but, we didn't. And, Caleb made an amazing play to kind of give us an opportunity to win the game. And, Iowa State's a really good program, and it's a meaningful win. But, what I noticed this week is it kind of lit a fire under our fan base, and got people excited about basketball, the way that they oftentimes are here. So that's encouraging. When people are excited about basketball here, it's great for our community.
Before the season, when talking to Carter Brown, he talked about adding good muscle to get ready for Big 12 play and college basketball in general. How do you think that's helped him go through the season and just his development overall?
Well, Carter's really come on. He's really come on since the start of the season, and that's to be expected. I know I was probably trying to slow down and temper expectations on him just a little bit, just because I knew it was going to be a little bit of a process for him. And, but obviously he's trending in the right direction, and, you play well on Monday, now he's got to go out and play well on Saturday. That's what it comes down to. That's kind of the next step for him, is kind of stacking a bunch of these games up back to back. So hopefully he will.
Earlier in the season, you played a lineup with Tobey and Henry a bit. You've kind of moved away from that. What was it about that lineup that maybe?
Well, probably back in the day, Krivas was probably still in the rotation. So, I thought that, we could have a couple of pairings with our 4s and 5s. I thought that Tobey and Henry might be a good pairing, and I thought that Trey and Krivas might be a good pairing. So, you're looking at maybe, cycling your lineups, kind of 2 and 2 with your 4 and 5. That would have been the process there. We've talked about, there are scenarios and maybe we could play those two together again. But, I think that our rotation is, done well lately. And so I don't want to overthink it. And, there might be a day where, you feel like you need a little more size, a little more rebounding, that you can play those two together, because you definitely could play them together.
How do you, speaking of the fan base getting fired up, how do you handle the motion with the guys this week? Like I think you touched on the other night about, going into a big rivalry game. Do you guys have to talk about it a lot, or does some of that go unsaid? Like, hey,
well, I don't think you have to overdo it, but I also think, you gotta let guys know, what this game means to the state of Arizona. A lot of our players are from other states, other countries, so they might not have a full grasp on, the rivalry, and for people that have lived here their entire lives. So you want to let people know, you want to let your players know that this is a meaningful game and it should be treated as such.
That is a guy, Tommy, that he's able to draw a lot of fouls on the inside. With what happened at Oklahoma State, you guys getting into some foul trouble, is that a point of emphasis this week when you have a player like?
I'm not too worried about foul trouble. I think we have enough bodies we can cycle through. Obviously he's proficient at drawing fouls. He's one of the better guys in the country, and we want to play physical, but we want to play clean, and hopefully, we won't be in situations where we're getting a bunch of ticky-tack fouls on him.
Caleb, how do you handle it this week? Do you guys go over what he did the other night, good and bad, or does?
We treat it normal. When you break down the film, you'll go through, positives and negatives, and you just that shot was one moment, and I think we all have a lot bigger goals and aspirations than hitting a buzzer beater shot. So. We didn't do anything different this week than we've done in the past, and I'm excited for February basketball. I think our schedule is really challenging, this month, which is great. I think our guys have, kind of put ourselves in position to, where we're, we continue to take care of business and play well. That, hopefully the postseason's in our future, and let's build. To be successful in the postseason, and that's going to be the mindset.
It was just interesting you said the other day, maybe it's a catalyst for him or something.
Well, you hope so. You hope so. It could be. Listen, we know, how heavily scrutinized Caleb's been, and maybe this is a catalyst that kind of kicks him down a really successful path to kind of end his college career. I think he's very deserving of that, and I think that would be great for our team if he could do that. But more importantly, I think it would be great for him.
With Caleb, he's been a lightning rod of sorts. When he first came in the program, there was criticism about his character and stuff like that. But you said many times it's unfounded.
The characters. We haven't had one character issue in 2 years. So, I think that's a pretty good indicator of the type of person he is. Hey. For whatever reason, he's ended up being a lightning rod, and and I guess in social media, when people can voice their opinions that probably really shouldn't matter, they voice their opinions, and for whatever reason, he's been a popular target.
You talk about Joe Son being a nice kid. How that was kind of obviously a little weird the way that went down. You face recruits, guys.
I don't think it was really complicated. I think they had kind of let us know that if Caleb came back, that coming to Arizona might not be in the cards, and we totally understood that. And
you face guys you targeted all the time. Obviously, does this feel any different facing a guy like him when he was?
Doesn't feel any different. No. I'm sure he'll be excited to play great against us, but we're gonna approach it the same.
The two games that Toby has put together back to back, just dominating the boards. How does that change what this team can do when he's that?
Well, he's really coming on. His consistency's really picking up. He's playing really clean basketball. His finishes are looking a lot more fluid and easy. And those aren't easy. When you're getting a rebound in traffic and coming down with three big guys around you and kissing it, softly off the glass is really hard to do. So, he's just made a lot of progress. And, I think last game he hit a free throw line jumper. He, had some drives. So, I'm excited about the direction he's going. And to me, it looks like he's going to keep trending in that direction.
What's your thoughts on Quentin's and how he's played for ASU versus you saw him a little bit in that USA camp? He didn't make that team. I know you had a lot of good bigs, but
listen, not making that team doesn't mean you're not a good player. There's a lot of good players that tryouts, and he was a year younger than all those kids. He's really talented, and he's a really nice kid. He's really talented. I was watching their game against West Virginia, and he was impressive. So he's an elite talent. Who's young and figuring it out, but he's gotten off to a great start in his college basketball career for sure.
Anything about the way he's playing in that system seem different to you than what you saw of him, or?
Not really. There's been a lot of growth. He's definitely gotten better. You know, I mean, but I think that's to be expected.
Last one, Bruce.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, I was on the ESPN had a thing, Jimmy Dykes was saying something when you guys were in the Bahamas, how you were telling him you weren't sure if the pieces are going to fit. I know you kind of indicated that back then. I don't know if you remember that conversation, or
I don't
were you telling you were going through a lot at that time. I was just wondering if you reflect back on that again compared to.
No, I mean, listen, I never lost belief in this team. I never did. You know, we hit a hard stretch. We had a hard schedule, and and things kind of unraveled, faster than we could put them back together. I think we've put them back together, but here's the kicker: just because you feel like you put them back together doesn't mean they're going to stay together. You got to keep fighting for it. So, obviously we're heading into the midpoint of conference season, and you're going to go into the second half of conference season. I mean, it's only going to get more challenging. So, challenges are going to continue to come. And, the one thing that this team has showed, it showed me, and I think showed, overall, is they can respond, and which is really important, and because I do feel like we've, gotten a lot better. I do feel like the pieces are fitting together now. And, now we just got to keep fighting for that. Thanks, guys.
Go ahead. Questions for Henry?
Henry, how's the week gone? Coming off that emotional game, you guys take a breath and feel turn it around. How's it gone? The process.
I think we have had a great week as a team. We definitely had a good game on Monday, and it was a great win for our program. After that, we just have been focused on ASU and looking forward for the game.
It was a pretty late night Monday. Was it hard to get to sleep after a game like that, or what was it like?
Yeah, after a game, definitely your adrenaline is up, and it's hard to sleep after it, but you make it work.
What was your perspective of the shot? Have you ever been in that situation in the game where one of your teammates hit a shot like that?
I don't think I've ever seen anybody tie a shot with a half-court shot, at least on my team. Yeah, I was in disbelief. Caleb shot it, and I just looked at it. I was like, oh, that looks pretty good. It still looks pretty good. It went in. Oh, it went. It definitely, I was in disbelief when it happened. I was like, did it really go in? But, yeah, it was a great shot by Caleb.
On Monday night, he said that the original play was supposed to go to you. Were they covering it or what?
Yeah, that Bruin, we had poor execution on that play for that time, and yeah, they took away the long pass, so Caleb just got the ball kind of on the free throw line, took a couple of dribbles and shot it, and it was better than we could have thrown it up.
Were you in the position to shoot it, or do you think you could have gotten a pass off real quick to somebody else in that?
Yeah, I'll keep it. We'll keep it.
How did you feel? That was a crazy moment then. You're thinking maybe you're going to hit a game-tying shot, maybe not, or what's going through your mind?
Just see how the game goes, what they give you, what we get. I think what we got was better than what we could have.
Then what it takes then to reset after that, to play the 5 minutes, so now you can go actually win the game.
I think for us it was really good because we had once he hit the shot, we had all the momentum after it, and I think Iowa State kind of was in awe because they thought they had won the game. They'd already let their guard down, so it was hard for them to get going in the overtime. I've definitely been in that situation before where somebody ties the shot and in overtime it's hard to get going because you already thought that you won the game. But we had now that we got all the belief after the shot went in. So I think that's how we got a great start in the overtime.
After your performance against Baylor, Tommy had said that you're now going to be on the scouting report and that you kind of have to adjust to that. How has it been different these last few opponents? Like, what are they doing differently?
I honestly feel like the ups and downs come as a basketball player, and I feel like they have been more on my side, just maybe not being as locked in or just shots don't go in, and you can't, like, that's going to happen when you play basketball. I don't feel like it's been anything else that the teams have been doing.
So what do you have to do to become more locked in and focused?
I feel like it just, like, emotionally get yourself going, and I feel like I have had that in the games too, and from time to time, just be more consistent. That's what I have to work on.
Most of that game felt like a defensive, kind of like heavyweight fight. You guys were slugging it back and forth. Just life in the Big 12 and your experience thus far, is it everything you thought it would be in terms of playing in this physical conference?
Yeah, I would say the defense has been very important in Big 12 because it's a very physical league and possessions matter a lot. And of course, Iowa State is an incredible defensive team, and I feel like especially the first half was very defensive, where it was very hard to get any shots and free throws mattered a lot, and every open shot you got, like making it was very important.
And how do you think that physical style of play will help you guys down the stretch as you get closer to March and, eventually the tournament?
I think the physical play would definitely help us because if you're already used to it, then it's an advantage to you. Because if the other teams aren't used to it and you play physically, it's a very big advantage to you. And if you play another physical team, you're used to it.
I mean, how would you describe what Toby Awaka has done these last 2 games on the board? You talk about the physicalness that's needed in this league and what that does for this team when he's just dominating in that fashion.
It was incredible what he did against Iowa State the last game. Like how I said before, how possessions matter so much, and on offensive rebounds, he was able to get us so many extra possessions, and he was able to lay it up, and it's another 2 points that we could add. And he was incredible that game. That's it.
Like that in practice with him? I mean, there are times when you're trying to defend him, and he's like, I can't keep him off the offensive glass kind of thing.
No, he's definitely very good offensive rebound. He's very strong. So it definitely is a hard work to box him out.
Where have you seen a guy like Carter Bryant develop throughout this time from beginning to right now?
Can you repeat?
Where have you seen a guy like Carter Bryant develop? What's been his biggest development throughout this course of the season?
I think he's been getting used to the style of play because I know high school is a lot different than playing in college, especially for Tommy. So it's a lot of team movement, ball movement, player movement. So he's kind of been finding his spots, and like he's very confident in his shot now. Whenever he gets the ball, he knows he has to shoot it. It's the best option for the team when he shoots it, and we let him know that.
What do you expect? ASU's got some bigger athletic guys in the front court this year, a little bit more so than the past. What's your thoughts on that matchup?
Yeah, they have athletic bigs that can catch lobs and block shots. We just have to stay disciplined and execute the scheme that we have for the game.
Anything else? Good to go?
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks, Senator.
Thank you.
Good one.